Hey, good morning, friends. Scott Brookins here. Hope you're having a great day. This is the day the Lord has made, and let us rejoice and be glad in it. And so, wherever you are, wherever you're watching this, and I just hope that you're delighting in the day that God has given you, no matter what we're going through in our life. And I ask that you just continue to like and share these messages so that my prayer every time is that at least one person will be impacted. Besides myself. So today's question is, what's the ending? And, I don't know if you've ever done this, but sometimes I'll read a novel, a suspense novel or a spy mystery. And, sometimes the storyline can get intense depending on the author. And, have you ever ever wanted to go to the end? And sorry, I got a mosquito flying around here. Have you ever wanted to flip to the last chapter, the last couple pages to see how it ended, and then go back and read it? Right? Have you done that? I have. Or what about a movie you've seen? If you watch enough trailers as they release a movie, you can almost figure out what the movie's all about. Sometimes even how it ends, because sometimes the trailers are ridiculous. But do we do that in our life? Where we want to know what the end point is? I don't know if you do. I do. And I think we all do, if we're honest, that no matter what decisions we're needing to make, we want to know if it's going to turn out, right, the way that we think it should. And I think the older we get, or I'll say the older I get, the more I want that. Even though if I look back in my life, God's had me do some amazing things that, I can't even imagine that I would have come up with these ideas. I know I would not have come up with these ideas on my own, and just how they've turned out. I mean, 24 years ago, I felt a calling or an urging to be in the ministry full time, and never would have dreamed of all the places He sent us, my family and I, and to even now what we do in Uganda with supporting abandoned women and their kids and building a school and supporting all the staff. It's mind-boggling to me. But how about you? When you've have decisions to make, whether it's a job or relationship or where to live, whatever it might be, sometimes I think we want to know the end point, right? And if we do some Bible terms, when God was speaking and called Moses, He gave him a burning bush, or He gave him directions, right? And sometimes I want that neon arrow pointing this way, Scott, right? But that's not really how life works, right? And I think even if God did say, okay, do this, do A, B, C, D, and so forth, we'd mess it up, or at least I would, right? Because we'd get to point E or point 4 or 5 and say, God, wouldn't it be better if I did it this way? I would. But I want to encourage you today. Maybe you're going through some decisions. I'm kind of wrestling with a few things, and a lot of it's just been, God, I don't know if this is going to turn out. Well, I think God tells us to trust Him, right? He gives us free will, and He's going to guide us. His plans are for us, but He lets us make those decisions to follow Him and just take the step of faith. And you've done that in the past. I know several, friends and family members that have been teachers, and they're retired now. But, 30 years ago, when they were 22, 23 years old, right out of college, going into that first day of school and that first school, I imagine most of them were petrified or scared, or like, what am I doing? And how is this going to turn out? But just think of, after a 20, 30-year career, hundreds and maybe thousands of kids that they impacted. And I know it's been a lot, and I know many of them come back to the teachers and tell them, at least I have, the couple that I've found over the years, and thanking them for the impact they had in my life when I was 15 or 18 years old, or whatever the case may be. So I want to encourage you, whatever decision maybe you're looking at, to trust God and step out in faith. I'm on a deck here in our backyard, and, not that I would step off of this and trust that, I could walk on air, because I can't. But that's kind of the visual of that. We just need to take a step of faith. We need to just take that leap and trust that God is going to lead us to where He wants us to be. we've done it in the past. And so remember the past decisions you've made, whether it's for a job or, who you're married to maybe. I had to ask my wife out at one point, and then I had to ask her to marry me. And I didn't know how that was going to turn out. But we've done that. And so we have a track record to go back to of all the blessings that God has given us, to trust Him, to just do something. And so I want to look up a verse and leave us kind of out of Proverbs chapter 3 in verse 5 and 6. It says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight." So even though we don't know the ending, right? God knows the ending. But we are to take the step forward, trust in Him, know that we don't know what we don't know, but just have the understanding that God is in control and He is going to guide us where He wants us to be. But we need to take the step off the deck or to make a phone call or text somebody or whatever the case may be. And so I hope this will help you. It's helping me just as I've been praying about this for about a week. And I hope you'll like and share this, because I think a lot of people could use the nudge maybe to take a step, to go do something, quit hesitating, trust that God is going to direct our steps and that things will work out the way He wants it to. It might not be the way we want to, but it'll be better than we could have ever imagined. And so go have an amazing day and inspire others to do the same. God bless.